How we doing, everybody? We are Change. I'm with Immortal Technique, and everybody, we're really excited. It's April 20th, and Club 64 is having a great event with Elias Clay and Black Thought, and we're excited to be here. But we got breaking news in Denver. There was just a big scare. All the people at Denver Civic Center Park ran out, and we were actually there. We'll have footage of that, and it was pretty scary out there. It was the tense situation, and everybody went storming out. So do you have anything to say about that at all while you're in Denver? I know it's not a way to welcome you, but...
I mean, I think it's interesting because someone had asked me to speak at that, so I was technically supposed to be there, and then at the last minute, they were like, well, logistically, there are too many speakers or something. We'd have to put you on at like 8 o'clock. I was like, yo, dude, I got a show at 8 o'clock, so I guess everything happens for a reason. I just hope people don't blame hip-hop or music for something like this. You know what I mean? I think it's so funny that now, especially in the wake of some of the news coming to light about what happened in Boston, people are talking about hip-hop as if it's the negative influence that caused people to do this. And I think that's really, there are racial undertones to that. I think it's a cop-out because politicians don't want to deal with their policies and what they've done. We're not here to discuss conspiracy theories or whatever happened or what didn't happen. We're not there yet. I think we need to collect evidence before people start jumping to conclusions. But definitely, I see already what people are doing. You know what I mean? For example, the fact that they're from Chechnya is going to bring less scrutiny towards the human rights abuses that were committed by Russia there in that country. You know, we're obviously going to have a lot of tighter laws, more security. Whether or not this is going to affect gun control, they voted for no more background checks. Now, personally, you know what? You can call me whatever you want to, but I believe that... I believe that if you're going to buy a semi-automatic weapon, you're going to buy something with the potential to destroy people, I want to know if you have a fucking mental illness, dude. That has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. That has nothing to do with banning guns. You're never going to ban guns in this country. But if somebody has a history of abusing their wife, abusing their children, of sexually abusing people, of violence towards women, towards children, towards other people, I want to know if they have a fucking, an Uzi. You shouldn't have an AK-47 like that. I'm sorry to say that. You fucked up, homie. Now, the difference is what's going to happen with, you know, the rights of people who have been incarcerated. Are those going to be taken away all of a sudden? Because it seems like we only want to torture and we only want to take guns away from certain types of people. You know, they'll look at me and be like, oh, well, we need to take his gun away, you know? And then someone like that, from a biased point of view, will look at you and be like, well, he needs his gun rights. Or, you know what? We should torture these people because they know something. They're American citizens. Oh, but they're Muslims, so it doesn't matter. Well, did any of these GOP lawmakers ask for the maniacs who blew up Oklahoma to be tortured to find more information? What about this nut job that shot up the Colorado Theater? He had his entire house booby-trapped. Did anybody from any political party mention him possibly being tortured to find out if he had more bombs hidden somewhere else? See, it's this type of inconsistency that I think takes away from the credibility of America.
The inconsistencies that I was going to ask you about a lot of those things. I'm glad you just went right through it. And that's really the James Holmes thing. It took him many hours on TV to disarm his house, and yet in Boston, they disarmed the bomb without, you know, telling them who their source was. They disarmed the bomb, and it was half the way across town.
Like I said, I can't speak on that because we haven't heard all the evidence yet. I'm just saying that I see how it's playing out. People are blaming music. Music ain't got nothing to do with this. Nobody ever blamed, you know, Vietnam on rock and roll. Fuck y'all blaming some terrorist attack on hip-hop? That's absurd. You know, you just don't like hearing about yourself. I know why people don't like hip-hop. Because this country don't like hearing about itself. You know, already you have so many states that want to change history. We want to change the way that slave masters are portrayed because that's really unfair to us. Dude, if you don't like what your ancestors did, guess what, motherfucker? You got the rest of eternity to make up for it. But don't sit here and rewrite history to make it seem as if it wasn't this. You know, for example, the Second Amendment, was it used forever at any point or ever at any time to enforce slavery? Yes. Does that mean that guns should be banned because they're equivalent to slavery? No. But I'm just saying, if you're afraid of your own history, if you're always trying to rewrite it, then you end up painting yourself into a corner of hypocrisy, a corner where you look like a hypocrite. Shout out, I like that.
So,
Marley L, that's what's up.
So, Yeah, it's 420 in Denver, and it's
Yeah,
the holiday, and that's kind of, I wanted to bring it back in. We are change is refocusing. We're going all about solutions. We're talking local currencies lately, organic gardens, and then we're trying to focus on being the change, and forgetting about everything else, letting all this affect us and change our perception on the world. It's going to change us regardless, but we're going to make sure that we're being the change, and we're going to open up a community center where we're looking forward to keep doing our meetings. And
next time I come do a show, I'd love to come by the community center. I think that Colorado's taking an important step in the decriminalization, legalization fight. You know what I mean? Stop putting people in prison for this. Stop destroying American lives. You're ruining American lives. You're destroying American citizens. You're ruining the future of America by putting people in prison for marijuana. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Now that the prohibition is over in Colorado.
That's right, Tag.
And Washington State.
If you had a chance to tell the UN, because the UN wants to strike down Washington and Colorado, if you had the chance to tell the UN, what would you tell the UN? Good luck, right?
The amount of human rights abusers that you people support out there as the UN, all the negative, horrible things that you're involved in the world, you have some fucking nerve to come here to Colorado and say we want to put people back in prison. We want to keep incarcerating individuals.
It's not gonna happen.
Just for this. I'm telling you, the American people have had enough. They've realized, because it's not just poor, working class people of color anymore. Everybody is a potential Vic. Everybody is a potential Mark. Everybody is a potential prisoner. And as we realize that more and more, we realize we're one human race and we're all affected by these things. That's when more and more people will take notice and take a stand like they did in this state. And they said, hey man, if you don't like democracy, then call this the Empire of America, because we voted yes and we got it, and you cannot take it away from us now.
So last question, when do you draw your line in the sand? When is your line drawn? When do you use your state's rights and pick up and move, or even where you can get out of America, go wherever? What are your thoughts on?
I'm not abandoning this nation.
That's right.
We're not leaving. People have said, hey, if you don't like America, leave. I won't leave. If I don't like this country, I'm going to make it better. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tuck tail and get the hell out of here. No one's going to turn into an American political exile, unless they try to blow up my house or some shit, the government chasing me everywhere. But I doubt that's going to happen. We're not talking about some insane, plot of a bad Disney movie. We're talking about reality here. And the reality is that the people of Colorado, the people of Washington State, had their voices heard democratically within the system. They worked within the system to say, hey, you know what? We're going to change this specifically. Now, does everything change when you work in the system? No. But I think that you need to attack the problem from every aspect. So should we have people fighting on different fronts? Yes. Some people in the courtroom, some people picketing in the street, some people doing media, some people out there saying, all right, we're going to go to court and we're going to fight. Don't give up, man. No matter how fucked up the odds look, don't give up. Immortal Technique, we are Change Colorado. Peace.